Hi everyone, welcome to Paper Chats. Today I'm going to give you some important tips for BA English first semester literary criticism examination. So in this paper we have Plato, Aristotle, Longinus and Horace in the classical literary tradition. And these are the important questions and most often repeated questions in the university exam. From Plato, we have questions from theory of imitation, mimesis, Plato's attack on poetry, and Plato's observation on drama and style. Next, we have Aristotle's theory of art or imitation. There is a question like the two ways of imitation proposed by Aristotle. Imitation of art proposed by Aristotle and Aristotle's observations on tragedy. This is a very important question and often asked in university exam. And elements of a tragedy, 6 elements of a tragedy is also an important one. And of course characteristics of a tragic hero, and finally comparison of epic and tragedy. And there will be a question like a comparison of Aristotle and Plato's philosophy or theory or imitation of art. And the third part consists of Longinus and Horace's views on art and poetry. And sublimity is an important question, and how can we obtain sublimity in art? And these are some of the expected short questions and essay questions from part 1. Catharsis. What is catharsis is often asked a question. And hamartia, peripety and anagnorisis, and describe the 3 unities. And what is mimesis is often asked in exam. And finally there will be an essay question like critically evaluate Plato's charges against poetry and Aristotle's view on tragedy. And from Horace we have Horace's observations on poetry as well as poet, and his observation on drama. The literary value of ars poetica is once asked. And coming to Philip Sidney, his apology for poetry is an answer to Stephen Gowson's School of Abuse. So it's a reply to Stephen Gowson, and definitely he is presenting his observation on the value of poetry and also comparing poetry with philosophy and history. And John Dryden's view on poetry and his observation on epic and drama, tragedy and comedy. So Dryden's view on poetry is an often repeated question, and Dr. Samuel Johnson's historical approach we can expect for the exam as short paragraph question. The most repeated and important question from part 2 is William Wordsworth preface to lyrical ballads, subject matter and the language. And Wordsworth philosophy of poetry is another question, and his observations on poetic composition, 4 stages of poetic composition. And coming to Coleridge, we have theory of imagination and fancy, and imagination is an often repeated question. And coming to Percy Bysshe Shelley, his romantic point of view on poetry is a very important question. Shelley's defense of poetry is a retort to Thomas Love Peacock's article, The Four Ages of Poetry. In the next session, we have Matthew Arnold, his concept of culture, and the touchstone method introduced by Matthew Arnold. It's a very important one and often asked for university exam. What is the touchstone method? And his observations on poetry and criticism. Functions of criticism by Matthew Arnold is a very important question. And the next topic is T.S. Eliot, tradition and individual talent. T.S. Eliot's historical sense is a very important question. What does T.S. Eliot mean by historical sense is an often repeated question. And objective correlative is also very important, and dissociation of sensibility is another one. And I.A. Richards, the four kinds of meaning is an important question, and you should keep in mind the scientific and emotive use of language. And here are some questions, important questions, repeated questions from the university exam. What is formalism is an expected question, and fabula and sujet is often repeated one, and close reading, the familiarization, and there are always short questions like what is ambiguity, what is paradox, what is irony, and intentional fallacy and archetypal criticism are often repeated. Coming to Indian aesthetic, we can expect theory of rasa, dhwani, types of tinas, alankara and vakrokti. And in the last part, we have some literary terms like classicism, neoclassicism, romanticism, humanism, realism, naturalism and symbolism. Humanism, realism and sometimes classicism are asked. So you have to just look into these literary terms. Hope this video may find useful for you. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe my channel for more videos. Thank you.